And in that same story, you have MOPOL and 9 others killed in renewed attacks in Benue. So the new attacks again in Benue, and a MOPOL, that's a mobile policeman, has been killed.
Well, I watched the interview of the national chairman of the Arewa Consultative Forum yesterday, and he was talking about amnesty being granted to the criminals. So he made reference to what happened in the Niger Delta region under the former late president Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, saying that those militants were offered amnesty.
But that's a defense. That's completely, I mean, there's really no basis for comparison.
I brought up the context yesterday, and I said, let's put the numbers on the table. Let's put context to the conversation. I've been to Bayelsa before. I've been to rivers. I've been to the riverine communities in those axes, and those people have constantly had their source of livelihood taken away from them. I mean, the first time I went to Bayelsa was around 2 a.m. I got to Bayelsa around 2 a.m. And that was the first time I saw real-time gas flaring. All the water to the side had huge fire burning on them. So during the day, we went into town. I was having a conversation. It was the report I went to do. And I was having a conversation with them. And I'm like, how do you guys farm? They said they don't farm anymore.
Yeah.
In fact, the water we took and address of Port Harcourt only because they couldn't dig boreholes in those communities in Bayelsa.
It's not possible, oil everywhere.
So if you are taking their oil, they're only asking that, listen, don't leave us with nothing.
With nothing.
If you are taking our oil to service this nation, please give us something.
Yes, give us something
So
back.
there was a 13% derivation, there was a scholarship offered to bandits in return for weapons, and that crisis ceased.
And it just tells you that they were not criminals, per se.
They are basically environmentalists asking for what belongs to them.
Fighting for their rights.
So what is a bandit asking for?
A bandit is just deciding to take people's lives unnecessarily. You know, it's just totally baseless. And then we now start to compare. How can we? Who's this person that's comparing?
He's the chairman of the ACF. So last year, twice, I had a session with Sheikh Abdul Rahman Gumi. And on both occasions, he brought up the conversation around amnesty as well. He said, listen, these guys don't have the opportunity to the quality of education that we have, the luxury that we have. But I keep asking, when Boko Haram started, the ideology was very clear. They are against Western education. But everything they do now has everything around Westernization on it. The phones they use to upload their videos, the phones they use to call their
weapons
victims,
they use.
the weapons they use when they are flying to Saudi Arabia to observe Hajj, they fly by plane. These are components of Westernization. So if you think you're fighting against Westernization, but you now live on the same ideology you are trying to fight against. So it's a criminal activity. Nobody should quote it with any amnesty. Nobody should quote it with anything.
Let me tell you something. I went to Federal Government College. So what they're talking about, I don't understand. Because we had a lot of Northerners, you know, on scholarship. You know, we all mixed. You know, we were like one big family at the time. We didn't care who was Christian or who was Muslim. Well, all those religious sentiments didn't even matter at the time. All we knew was that we were schoolmates, we were classmates, we were one big family. So I don't understand. And a lot of them have risen through the ranks and have retired as we speak. Even the immediate past Deputy Controller General of the Nigerian Customs. We were in class together. And, you know, he always tells everyone that when he first came, these were the people who helped him, you know, that when he speaks one grammar like that, everybody will start laughing and then we'll correct him. And today, you know, he is the better for it and he's so thankful. And we are so thankful, you know, that we mixed with him, we grew with him, we wined and dined with him, you know, from the very beginning. So I don't understand where they're talking. We have a lot of them who were doing well and, you know, they've retired. So what are they talking about Western education? They were the ones sending. These people, most of them were on scholarship. So it was the government that was sending them to schools. So how come all of a sudden Western education
is a crime?
Is a crime?
You know, whoever takes up arms against the state is a criminal. And if you want to create a government within a government, it's against it. In fact, My contact yesterday was telling me that the Jili community at some point was absolutely overtaken by bandits. It was one of the local government and communities that was 100% under the control of bandits until the Nigerian army came in and, liberated those communities, and people started returning to those communities. So as long as there are conspirators, there would always be casualties. Even when wars are going on, people would always find a way to look for a weak spot. So if you are providing yourself as a shield, or as a sympathizer, or as a conspirator, or as a supplier to bandits, when the bandits are being targeted, you would fall victim of it. So anybody can come out and sing the conversation of, oh, innocent victims were being killed. What were the victims doing around bandits? It's as simple as that. If they were abducted people and they were trying to negotiate their release, it's a different ball game. But if you are in the community, you host them. We see these
where
people,
they thrive.
we see these people come to pray together where bandits are leading prayers. We see where bandits come into these communities to negotiate peace deals in quotes, and then these people are admiring them, snapping pictures with them, looking at them as gods and heroes in their community. So when they come to attack these individuals, you provided yourself as a shield to them, you fall victim of the attack, and then it becomes a problem. And then people will come and say, oh, innocent victims that are going with rocket launchers, that are moving with grenades, that are moving with cache of weapons, AK-47s, even superior weapons than the army, people that are bombing, personnel,
Military personnel.
bullion van, armored vehicles. These are the innocent people that we should spare.
Yeah.
We need to get serious if you really want to have an end to this war.
And honestly, our government needs to intervene and be serious. I keep saying it. Our government is not serious. When they're serious, we will know. But the thing is that we don't want to continue to lose lives. We don't want to continue to lose our army officers. We don't want to continue to lose anybody in Nigeria. So our government really needs to step up in this game. Well, perhaps as we go along, we will see certain moves that the government is making with the French government. I'm asking myself a few questions. When we get to that bridge, we'll